The great Galactic Council chamber had seen wars declared, alliances made, and entire empires fall. But today, what was about to happen would shake the galaxy in ways no one could imagine. The hall itself was a masterpiece, towers of silver and crystal reaching toward the stars above. Holographic banners of every member world floated in the air. The voices of hundreds of species usually filled the space, a mix of trade deals, border disputes, and political speeches. But this morning, the air was heavy, silent, because everyone was waiting for the humans. They entered without fanfare, just a group of quiet men and women in simple black uniforms. No bright colors, no royal guards, no grand speeches like the other species loved to give. Humans had always been like this, direct, efficient, and unpredictable. At the center stood the human ambassador. His name was unknown to many. Humans rarely shared such details, but his eyes carried the weight of something final. The alien delegates whispered nervously. They called this emergency meeting. Why? Are they leaving? No, they wouldn't dare. Humans follow rules. They always have, don't they? But deep down, they weren't so sure. The Supreme Chancellor of the Council, a tall silver-skinned being named Arthian, raised his hand. Humans of Earth, he said in his smooth voice. The Council welcomes you. Speak your purpose. The human ambassador looked around the chamber slowly. His gaze was sharp, controlled like a man counting enemies. Then, in a calm voice, he spoke words no one was ready to hear. Effective immediately, he said. Earth withdraws from the Galactic Council. Permanently. The words hit the room like a meteor strike. Gasps, shouts, the sound of translators scrambling to repeat the message in hundreds of languages. All at once, the chamber erupted into chaos. This is madness, shouted a scaled warrior from the Draken clans. They can't leave. They signed the Pact of Unity, cried a feathered ambassador from the Crestos system. They're hiding something? Hissed a serpent-like delegate, his tongue flickering nervously. But the humans did not stay to argue. The ambassador simply stepped down from the platform. The others followed, their faces calm, cold, unreadable. They walked toward the exit while the entire galaxy screamed behind them. One young alien, trembling with fear, ran forward. His thin arms shook as he shouted, Why? Why are you leaving? Tell us. The human leader paused for only a moment. His expression didn't change. You'll find out soon enough, he said quietly. And when you do, remember that you were warned. Then the humans walked out. The giant doors closed with a sound like thunder, and the galaxy held its breath. Within hours, the news spread across the stars like wildfire. Earth has left the Galactic Council. On trading worlds, markets collapsed. On border planets, governors sent panicked reports to the Council. On military stations, admirals demanded answers no one could give. Because the truth was simple. Earth wasn't the biggest power in the galaxy. But Earth was the one power no one wanted as an enemy. Back in the council chamber, chaos ruled. Summon their leaders, one delegate demanded. Threaten them with sanctions, another shouted. They cannot defy us, cried a third, his voice breaking with fear. But Arthian, the Supreme Chancellor, didn't speak. He sat frozen on his throne, his glowing eyes locked on the door where the humans had disappeared. He remembered the rumors. Secret human fleets seen in deep space. Strange energy readings near dying stars. Whispers of weapons being tested far beyond the Council's borders. And now Earth had walked out without a word of explanation. In the darkness between stars, human ships began moving. Freighters vanished from trade routes. Massive carriers left orbit around Earth colonies. Research stations near Council borders went silent. And in the Kelros 9 sector, a place where no sane traveler went, spies reported something enormous moving near the black hole. Too big for a battleship. Too fast for a cargo hauler. A shape with engines like small suns and armor thicker than anything the Council fleets possessed. The images were grainy, but the fear was crystal clear. Some said Earth was building a war fleet. Others whispered about ancient weapons, older than the Council itself, now in human hands. No one knew the truth, and that made it worse. Artheon finally rose from his throne. His voice was low, cold, heavy with dread. "Find out what they are doing," he ordered his spies, "before it's too late." But deep down, he already knew something had changed forever. The Council had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. It had survived wars, plagues, rebellions, but it had never faced Earth as an enemy. Not until today. Far away, on the bridge of a massive ship still under construction, a human admiral watched the stars in silence. "They'll come after us," his second-in-command said softly. The admiral's eyes narrowed. "Let them." The engines roared to life, casting long shadows across the stars. The day Earth left the Council was only the beginning. The galaxy did not sleep the night Earth walked out. From one end of the stars to the other, panic spread faster than any ship could travel. Every planet, every station, every empire was talking about the same thing. Why did Earth leave the Council? Some said it was a political fight. Others whispered about a secret betrayal. But many feared something worse. Because humans never acted without reason. And if they left so suddenly, without a single explanation, then something big was coming. In the crowded markets of the trade world Kelrios 5, merchants shut down their stalls. Normally, this planet was filled with laughter, noise, and the smell of strange alien foods. But today, people were afraid. "Did you hear?" One alien trader whispered to another. "Earth stopped all cargo shipments, even the military ones." Another trader's eyes widened. "That means war, doesn't it?" "It always means war." On border colonies, the mood was even worse. These were small planets far from the Council's protection. Pirates often lurked in the dark corners of space, attacking ships, stealing cargo, and disappearing before the Council fleets arrived. But for years, humans had kept the peace here. Their ships moved silently through the void, fast and powerful, and the pirates feared them more than any law. Now those ships were gone. Within days, the first attacks began. The planet Ryan 3 sent a desperate call for help when pirate fleets hit its fuel depots. Normally, the Council would send ships right away. But this time, there was only silence. Because the Council fleets were busy arguing. Half the admirals wanted to confront Earth immediately. The other half feared provoking them. And while they debated, the pirates spread like fire. One by one, undefended colonies fell. Inside the Council chamber, chaos returned. "This is Earth's fault," shouted a thick-shelled delegate from the Tarlon Empire. "They abandoned the Pact of Unity. Now the borders burn," cried another. "We must demand their fleet's return." But the Supreme Chancellor Artheon stayed silent. He had bigger problems. Because new reports had reached him. Reports that made his blood run cold. It started with a single rumor. A strange signal had been detected near the edge of human space. The signal was short, encrypted, and powerful. It repeated only once before going silent. No one could read it. Not even the best Council codebreakers. But one thing was certain. The signal didn't come from the Council. It came from Earth. And whatever message it carried, it was meant only for them. Meanwhile, the attacks on border worlds grew worse. On the mining colony of Vetra 9, thousands of workers fled underground bunkers as pirate raiders torched the surface. On the small moon of Harion, food stations were looted, leaving entire families starving. The people begged the Council for help. But without the human fleets, the Council's response was slow and weak. The galaxy was beginning to realize a terrible truth. For all their rules and power, the Council had depended on Earth more than they knew. In the shadows, some species celebrated. The ambitious Krestos clans began building secret war fleets, hoping to grab territory while the Council was distracted. The merchant guilds of Veltron raised prices on food and fuel, getting rich while millions suffered. And in the cold darkness beyond the stars, the old warlords returned, the ones the Council had defeated decades ago with human help. Without Earth's fleets, no one feared the law anymore. Inside the secret Council war room, Admiral Threx slammed his fist on the table. "We must send ships to control the borders," he growled. "If Earth won't help us, we'll protect the colonies ourselves." Another general shook his head. And if Earth sees that as a threat, we can't fight them. You saw what happened when they destroyed the Dreltec fleet last year in under 10 minutes. They won't attack us, Threx said firmly. Not unless we attack them first. But deep down, even he wasn't sure. On the other side of the galaxy, Earth remained silent. No speeches, no demands, no explanations. Their fleets vanished into deep space. Their diplomats gave no answers. And the mysterious signal detected near human space repeated again. Just once. Encrypted. Unreadable. In the council chamber, Artheon finally spoke after hours of silence. Something is coming, he said softly, his silver eyes glowing faintly. Earth is preparing for something, and we are blind. He turned toward his spies. Find out what they are building. Find out before it's too late. Far from the council's reach, deep inside a hidden shipyard orbiting a dead star, a massive shape floated in darkness. Engines the size of cities slept in silence. Armor thicker than any known weapon could pierce gleamed under the cold light of distant suns. And inside, human engineers worked day and night. The ship was almost ready. The galaxy didn't know it yet, but the first signs of chaos were only the beginning. The galaxy had learned to fear silence. And Earth was silent. No speeches, no answers, no messages explaining why they left the Galactic Council. But there were whispers. Whispers of strange things happening in human space. Whispers that spread through trade ships, mining stations, even pirate dens. It began with a single story. A cargo freighter traveling near the Kelros. 9 black holes swore it saw something enormous moving in the darkness. Too big for any council ship. Too fast for anything that size. The captain told his crew to keep quiet. But someone talked. Someone always talks. Soon, the story reached the council. Earth is building a superweapon, one alien ambassador said nervously. No, it's a ship, another whispered. Bigger than anything we have ever seen. No one knew the truth, and that made the fear worse. In the council chambers, the arguments began again. We must demand to inspect their shipyards, shouted Admiral Threx, slamming a metal fist on the table. They will refuse, said Chancellor Artheon calmly. Then we send fleets and take a look ourselves. Threx growled, but everyone in the room knew the same thing. Confronting Earth was dangerous. Last year, the Dreltec Empire had insulted human diplomats and sent a fleet toward Earth's borders. The fleet never returned. The humans never explained how they destroyed it so fast. Meanwhile, in the markets across the galaxy, rumors spread like wildfire. They've built planet-killer weapons, a merchant whispered in fear. No, I heard it's worse, another said. Something that can tear apart stars. On mining colonies, workers shared stories over cheap drinks. My cousin saw a ship, shaped like a blade, bigger than a city, moved without sound, like it was alive. Some laughed, some shook their heads, but everyone kept talking, because the galaxy had always feared human technology. Back on Virilia Prime, Chancellor Artheon stood alone in his private chamber, looking out at the stars through the great crystal dome. He had ruled the council for 200 years. He had faced rebellions, invasions, and plagues. But nothing felt as dangerous as this silence from Earth. He remembered when humans first joined the council only a century ago. They were young compared to the ancient species. Ambitious, curious, reckless at times. But in war, they were terrifying. They didn't fight like others. They didn't follow the same rules. And now, if they truly had a new weapon, Artheon shivered. The council sent spies. Fast, quiet ships slipped toward human space, avoiding patrols, pretending to be traders or explorers. One ship returned with pictures. Blurry, distant, hard to read. But the images showed something huge floating near a dying star. A ship, a fortress, maybe both. Some parts looked grown, not built, like metal fused with something alive. And it was big, so big it cast shadows over the star below. When the pictures reached the council, the room went silent. What is that? One ambassador whispered, his voice trembling. Maybe it's not real, said another hopefully. But everyone knew it was real. And if humans had more than one of these, across the galaxy, fear spread faster than truth. Small empires began building fleets, thinking Earth might attack. Old warlords gathered soldiers, hoping to grab power while the council panicked. Pirates grew bold, attacking more colonies, knowing the council was too distracted to stop them. The galaxy was starting to break apart. And still, Earth said nothing. Inside a secret human command center, deep under the surface of a barren moon, admirals watched reports from across the stars. "The council is sending more spy ships," one officer said. "Let them look," Admiral Reyes replied calmly. "But sir," the officer asked, "shouldn't we hide the—" "No," Reyes interrupted. "Let them see pieces. Let them guess. Fear is more powerful than secrecy." He turned to the massive display showing the half-built warship orbiting the black hole. "When it's ready," Reyes said quietly, "they will understand." Back in the council chamber, arguments turned into panic. "They are preparing for war," shouted the Tarlon representative, his armored claws scraping the table. "We should unite before it's too late," another ambassador urged. "Unite?" someone scoffed. "Half this council would betray the other half if Earth promised them protection." And that was the truth. Some species had already started sending secret messages to Earth, offering loyalty in exchange for safety if war came. The council was breaking from inside, before a single shot was fired. On the mining moon of Dravos, workers looked up at the night sky and saw something moving among the stars. Silent, enormous. It blocked out the light for nearly a minute before vanishing into darkness. The next day, the whole colony swore Earth's new warship had passed above them. Whether it was true or not didn't matter. The fear was real. And far away, on the bridge of that same massive ship, Admiral Reyes stood with his hands behind his back, watching the construction crews finish the final layers of armor. "When this launches," his second-in-command said softly, "the galaxy will panic." Reyes smiled coldly. "They already are." The weapon rumors were only beginning. The truth would be worse than anyone imagined. The council chamber had turned into a battlefield. No weapons, no soldiers, only words. Since Earth's departure, arguments erupted day after day. Some demanded peace, some demanded war, and some waited silently, calculating their next move. Because in times of fear, betrayal grows like weeds. On the third day after the weapon rumors spread, Supreme Chancellor Arthian watched the delegates closely. He saw anger on some faces, fear on others. But worst of all, he saw ambition, eyes gleaming with secret plans. Arthian knew that look. He had ruled the council for centuries. He had seen great empires rise and fall. But he had never seen fear this strong. And fear made allies turn into traitors. It began with the Veltran trade guilds. They controlled half the food routes in the galaxy, growing rich under the council's protection. But now, with Earth gone and pirates attacking the borders, their profits fell. So, in the dark halls of Veltran Prime, the guild leaders met in secret. "If the council collapses," one said, "our business dies with it. Then we must choose the winning side," another replied. "You mean Earth?" Silence. Everyone knew Earth was growing stronger while the council grew weaker. Everyone knew humans had a weapon or something worse. And the Veltran guilds always followed power, not loyalty. Meanwhile, in the Krestos clans, an empire of warriors, high lords gathered around a burning hologram table. For centuries, they had obeyed the council's laws. They hated it. Now they saw a chance to break free. "If Earth fights the council," one warlord said, his feathers bristling, "we strike their borders and take what we want." "And if Earth wins?" another asked. "Then we swear loyalty to Earth before the dust settles." It was treachery disguised as strategy. Back in the council chamber, the arguments reached a breaking point. "They are building warships," shouted Admiral Threx, his metal hand slamming the table. "We must strike before they strike us." "You want to start a war with Earth?" sneered the Veltran ambassador. "Go ahead. Your fleets will burn first." "Enough!" Arthian's voice cut through the noise like a blade. But deep down, he knew control was slipping. Spies began selling secrets, council patrol routes, fleet positions, weak points in border defenses. Some sold them to pirates. Others sold them to human agents, because gold and power speak louder than loyalty. One night, in a shadowed corner of the capital city, a cloaked figure met a human operative. "The council plans to send ships toward your space," the traitor whispered. "They want to see your weapon." The human handed over a small crystal cube filled with glowing credits. "Let them come," the human said calmly. "They won't like what they find." Meanwhile, Chancellor Arthian received reports that made his chest tighten with dread. Veltran Guild ships were moving without permission. Cresto's warlords were gathering fleets near the border. Several council worlds had stopped paying taxes, claiming they needed their defenses more than the council did. The council was cracking like thin ice, and Earth hadn't fired a single shot. In a secret meeting of council generals, tempers exploded. "If Earth attacks, half our fleets will betray us," one shouted. "They already have," another growled. "The Veltrans are selling supplies to human agents. The Crestos clans are preparing for war. Our unity is a joke." "And what about Earth?" a third general asked softly. "What are they building near that black hole?" No one answered, because no one knew. On the fourth day, Chancellor Arthian confronted the Veltran ambassador. "Your guilds are trading with humans," Arthian said coldly. "You break council law." The Veltran smiled faintly. "Perhaps the law no longer protects us," he said. "Perhaps Earth will." It was not just defiance. It was a warning. And far away, on the bridge of the half-built human warship, Admiral Reyes received the secret reports with a calm smile. "The council is turning on itself," his aide said. "Half their worlds are preparing to switch sides." "Good," Reyes replied. "Let them tear each other apart. When the time comes, Earth will decide who survives." That evening, Chancellor Arthian stood alone in his chamber, watching the stars through the crystal dome. For the first time in centuries, he felt powerless. The council was collapsing from the inside, and Earth hadn't spoken a single word. When the council finally voted to send ships toward Earth's borders to observe the situation, several members refused to join. Others secretly warned Earth in advance. The betrayal was complete. The council was no longer one voice. It was breaking apart, piece by piece. And as the fleets prepared to leave, a single message appeared on every council screen, traced back to human space. "Come and see, if you dare." The council didn't know it yet, but Earth was ready for them. The council fleets moved slowly toward human space. 50 warships, 20 carriers, hundreds of smaller patrol craft. It was supposed to be a peaceful observation. That was the official order. But everyone knew the truth. It was a show of strength, a warning to Earth, and maybe a test to see if the rumors about the new human weapon were real. On the bridge of the council flagship Solar Rain, Admiral Threx stood like a mountain of metal and muscle. He stared at the holographic map showing human space ahead. "Hold formation," he ordered. "We enter the border at dawn cycle. No mistakes." His officers nodded, but fear showed in their eyes. Because everyone had heard the stories about the Dreltech fleet destroyed in minutes, about the strange shapes seen near the black hole, about Earth building something no one understood. Back in the council chamber, Chancellor Arthian waited for reports. The room was tense, every delegate whispering nervously. "Threx will force them to answer," one ambassador said. "They will talk when they see our ships," another agreed. But Arthian wasn't so sure. He had seen human leaders before. Calm, cold, patient. They didn't react like others. And that scared him more than any weapon. The fleets crossed into human space on the third day. First, nothing happened. No human ships appeared. No warning messages. Only empty stars and the silent darkness of space. Felt wrong. Like walking into a hunter's trap but seeing no sign of the hunter. Then, on the fourth day, it happened. Every council ship froze as a single message appeared on their main screens. No video. No voice. Just words in simple, clear language. "Turn back, or pay the price." Admiral Threx's officers stared at the screen in disbelief. "That's it?" one whispered. "No threats? No demands?" "It is a threat," another said softly. Threx growled. "Find the source of that message. Now." But the signal came from everywhere. Every direction at once. Like the entire star system spoke with one voice. The council delegates received the same message in the chamber on Virilia Prime. "Turn back, or pay the price." No name, no symbol, but everyone knew it came from Earth. Arguments exploded instantly. "They threaten the council itself," one ambassador shouted. "They want war," another cried. "Maybe they just want to be left alone," a third muttered. But no one left the chamber, because no one knew what would happen next. On the 5th day, as the council fleets advanced deeper into human space, they saw them. Human ships, but not like before. These were massive, black as the void, moving in perfect silence. No running lights, no transmissions. They appeared on every scanner at once, surrounding the council fleets in a wide circle. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds. Admiral Threx felt sweat on his metal palms. "Open a channel," he ordered. "We demand to speak to their commander." The reply came instantly. A single human voice, calm and cold. "You were warned. Leave now." Threx forced his voice to stay steady. "The council demands to inspect the weapon you are building. Show it to us or..." The human cut him off. "You have no power here. Leave. This is the only warning you will get." Then the channel went dead. On Virilia Prime, the council delegates watched the live feed in horror as the standoff continued. "Fire on them?" one ambassador screamed. "Are you insane?" another shouted back. "We don't even know what those ships can do." Chancellor Artheon said nothing, because in his heart, he already knew what would happen if the council fired first, and he feared the galaxy would never recover from it. The tension broke when Admiral Threx ordered one of his scouts forward. "Approach their line," he commanded. "See if they respond." The small ship moved slowly toward the silent human fleet. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, space itself seemed to explode. A single beam of white light shot from one human ship. No sound. No warning. The scout ship vanished in a flash of fire. One shot. One kill. Perfect aim. Every council ship froze. The human voice returned on all channels. "This is your final warning," it said softly. "Turn back. Next time, it won't be just one ship." Admiral Threx's jaw tightened. His pride told him to fight. His fear told him to retreat. The fear won. "Pull back," he ordered quietly. "All ships, pull back." On Virilia Prime, the council chamber exploded in arguments again. "Earth threatens the entire galaxy. They destroyed a council ship. They gave us a choice," Chancellor Artheon said finally. His voice was low, heavy. "And we pushed too far." The fleets retreated in silence. Behind them, the human ships never moved, never chased. They simply watched, like wolves letting the prey run. For now, the human ultimatum was clear. Stay out, or face destruction. Far away, Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of the massive half-built warship near the black hole. "Did they get the message?" his aide asked. Reyes smiled faintly. "Oh yes," he said. "The whole galaxy did. The retreat of the council fleets should have brought peace. But it didn't. The galaxy was too big, too wild, and too full of fear. Half the council worlds wanted war. The other half wanted peace. And in the middle stood Earth, silent, cold, and watching. The silence scared everyone more than any threat could. It started with a mistake. 3 days after the human ultimatum, a coalition of alien empires decided to teach Earth a lesson. They didn't ask the council for permission. They didn't warn anyone. They simply gathered their fleets, hundreds of ships from the Tarlon Empire, the Veltran guilds, and the Krestos clans, and launched a surprise attack toward Earth's outer colonies. They believed humans were bluffing. They believed the new weapon wasn't ready. They believed numbers would win the day. They were wrong. On the colony of Branton 4, farmers saw the alien armada darken the sky. Massive carriers floated above the clouds, dropping landing troops like rain. Cities panicked. Civilians ran for shelters. Emergency beacons screamed across the planet, but no human fleets came to help. Not at first. In the council chamber, news of the attack spread like fire. "They've gone mad," one ambassador shouted. "They will start a war for all of us," another cried. Chancellor Arthian sat in silence, his silver eyes glowing faintly. He had warned them. He had told them Earth would not be bullied. Now the galaxy would learn the hard way. On Branton 4, the coalition troops advanced through cities, expecting easy victory. The first day went smoothly. Human militia fought bravely but were outnumbered. By nightfall, the alien commanders were celebrating. "This will force Earth to surrender," the Tarlon general growled over the comms. "They will beg for peace after this." He was wrong. At dawn on the second day, the sky above Branton 4 changed. Dozens of massive black shapes appeared in orbit, silent, cold, and waiting. The coalition ships panicked. "They weren't here yesterday," one captain shouted. "Where did they come from?" another cried. The answer came as soon as the first human voice spoke over the open channel. "This is Earth Command. Leave our world, or be destroyed." The coalition laughed at the threat. Hundreds of ships against a few dozen human warships? The numbers were in their favor. They fired first. The battle lasted minutes. Human ships moved like hunters, precise and fast. Their weapons cut through alien shields as if they were paper. The coalition fleets fired back desperately, but nothing touched the human warships. It was like trying to punch shadows. One by one, the alien carriers exploded in fire and metal. The sky rained wreckage. By the end, not a single coalition ship remained in orbit. The survivors on the ground surrendered instantly. Across the galaxy, news spread at lightning speed. Earth destroyed an entire armada. Hundreds of ships, gone in minutes. What are those weapons? No one had answers. On Virilia Prime, the council chamber shook with fear. "They've declared war on the whole galaxy," one delegate shouted. "No," Chancellor Arthian said softly. "The galaxy declared war on them, and now we pay the price." He knew something the others didn't. The humans had destroyed the coalition fleets, but they hadn't used the weapon near the black hole. Not yet. In the ruins of Branton 4's main city, human marines moved through the streets, helping civilians, rebuilding shelters, giving food to the hungry. They didn't look like conquerors. They looked like protectors. And the people noticed. "Maybe Earth should rule the galaxy," some whispered. "At least they protect their own." Meanwhile, the survivors from the coalition fleets returned to their homeworlds, carrying tales of horror. "They didn't fight like us," one alien captain said, shaking. "They knew where we were before we moved. It was like they could read our minds." Another survivor whispered, "Their ships. They didn't even take damage. Nothing touched them." The stories grew with each telling, until human fleets became legends of death and fire in the dark. In the council, panic turned into desperation. "Send peace envoys," one ambassador demanded. "Send more fleets," another shouted. "No," Arthian said coldly. "Sending more fleets will only feed the fire." But it was too late. The war had already begun. Some worlds armed themselves, building weapons as fast as they could. Others secretly contacted Earth, offering loyalty in exchange for protection. The galaxy was splitting apart, alliances crumbling, trust burning away like dry leaves in a storm. Far away, near the black hole, the massive human warship finally came alive. Engines the size of cities lit up. Armor plates locked into place. Inside, Admiral Reyes stood on the command bridge, watching as the final systems powered up. "The coalition fleets failed," his second-in-command reported. Reyes nodded slowly. "Good," he said. "Let the galaxy come. Let them all come." He turned toward the dark screen showing the stars ahead. "They want war," he said softly. "We'll give them one." And somewhere across the galaxy, in 100 languages, the same question spread like smoke. If this was only Earth's beginning, what would their ending look like? The war ended faster than it began. The coalition fleets were gone. The Council's power was broken. And across the stars, everyone waited in fear for Earth's next move. On Virilia Prime, the Galactic Council sat in silence. The delegates who once shouted and argued now whispered nervously. Some demanded peace. Some demanded surrender. But most simply stared at the holographic images of burning fleets, shattered colonies, and the black warships of Earth moving like shadows across the stars. No one knew what Earth would do next, and that fear was worse than war itself. Chancellor Artheon stood alone in his private chamber, his silver eyes staring out at the night sky. He had ruled the council for centuries. He had seen rebellions, plagues, invasions, and chaos. But never this. Never a single world bringing the entire galaxy to its knees. Meanwhile, on the human flagship Resolute, Admiral Reyes watched the reports with calm eyes. "The council is collapsing," his second-in-command said softly. "Half their worlds refuse to fight. Some are asking for protection." Reyes nodded slowly. "They finally understand," he said. "Understand what?" the officer asked. Reyes turned toward the viewing window, where the stars stretched like cold fire across the black. "That Earth doesn't want their throne," he said quietly. "We only want them to stay out of our way." But the galaxy didn't believe that. Not after what they had seen. Because Earth's fleets didn't just defeat the coalition armadas. They erased them. Every battle ended in minutes. Every attack failed before it began. And the mysterious weapon near the black hole? It had never fired. The galaxy knew Earth still held something back. Something worse. On the council floor, arguments turned into panic. "They will conquer us all," one ambassador cried. "They haven't invaded a single world," another shouted back. "They destroyed hundreds of ships. They warned us first. We didn't listen." The room fell silent after that. Because it was true. Earth had given warnings. Clear ones. And no one listened. Then, one by one, council worlds began sending messages to Earth. Not threats. Not demands. Offers. "We will trade with you directly," said the Veltran guilds. "We will swear loyalty if you protect us," said border colonies. Even some council fleets secretly switched sides, promising to serve Earth if it meant safety. The council wasn't collapsing anymore. It was surrendering, piece by piece. Back on the flagship Resolute, Admiral Reyes received the messages with a calm expression. "Half the galaxy offers loyalty," his officer reported. "They will follow Earth over the council." Reyes gave a faint smile. "Tell them Earth doesn't want their loyalty," he said. "We only want them to stay out of our way." But the truth was already clear. The Galactic Council no longer ruled the stars. Earth did. Even without asking for power, they had taken it. Because power always follows strength. On Virilia Prime, Chancellor Artheon finally addressed the council. His voice was tired, heavy, defeated. "The age of the council is over," he said softly. "The galaxy will now move under Earth's shadow, whether we like it or not." Some delegates protested weakly. "They cannot rule us," one shouted. "They already do," Artheon replied. Far away, in human space, the massive warship near the black hole was finally complete. Engines burned with white fire. Armor shone like midnight steel. It was the largest ship ever built. A fortress among the stars. But it never left orbit. It didn't have to. Its very existence kept the galaxy trembling. Weeks passed. Earth didn't attack. Earth didn't invade. Earth simply watched. Silent, patient, dangerous. And the galaxy obeyed. On the mining world of Dravos, workers looked up at the night sky and whispered, "Maybe it's good they lead now. At least the pirates are gone." On the border colonies, people said, "The council never protected us. Earth did." Fear was turning into respect. Respect was turning into something stronger. Chancellor Artheon met Admiral Reyes at last. It wasn't in the council chamber. It wasn't on a grand stage. It was in a quiet room, far from cameras and speeches. "You could rule the galaxy," Artheon said softly. "No one can stop you now." Reyes looked at him calmly. "Earth doesn't want your throne," he said. "We only want peace. But if anyone threatens us again..." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Artheon understood. And so the galaxy changed. Not with treaties, not with votes, not even with conquest, but with silence. The silence of human warships drifting like black wolves among the stars. The silence of alien worlds bowing their heads before Earth without a single shot fired. The Galactic Council still existed, but only as a shadow of what it once was. Earth had left it. Earth had broken it. And in breaking it, Earth had become the power everyone feared and obeyed. The age of the Council was over. The age of Earth had begun.